We are the Tech Shamans. We understand, cause we are the Tech Shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Shamans. No, it's not just me. We have Anthony. He is zooming in today. Again, we're down Adam. I really apologize. I know all you guys have been clamoring for computer stuff, and so we're just going to try to handle that the best we can. Because I am not a computer guru by no means. That is our boy Adam. Hopefully one day we'll get him back in here and get him going on the show again. So Anthony, how you been doing, buddy?
Oh, doing phenomenal. Having so much fun with clients and helping them do amazing stuff. And so that's, marketing and technology go hand in hand so well.
Right.
And that meant, in fact, that's what I'm going to be talking about today is, not just how to say it, but what to say.
Right.
So we'll be getting to that in a bit, I guess.
Yeah, we will. So, we got some pretty good. I think we got some pretty good stuff myself today. We got
a good list.
We last couple of weeks been kind of but we're coming out of the gate strong this week. Matter of fact, we're going to jump right into it, and it's like, so Microsoft has released new file recovery tool that lets you retrieve deleted documents. Now, this on a Mac has been possible for a while, I guess. I remember back in the day having to use it. I live in both worlds now, so some things I forget about, some things I don't. But this will allow you to pull it off of local hard drives, USB drives, and even SD cards from cameras. The recovery on cloud storage and network file share is not supported, though. So, and now to me, this is a big deal. Because I'm the guy that actually will forget that I have the wrong file highlighted, and then I'll delete and forget about it, and then I'll go back, hey, where did that go? And I'm like, oh, crap, I deleted it. It's in the...
Is it in my trash can? Yeah. Please?
Yeah.
That it hasn't been more than a week?
Right, yeah. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, crap. It's not there. So, oops, So, to me, it's just that's pretty cool. Now, I don't know how far back it's going to let you go, because it will literally you'll be able to recover stuff like MP3 files, MP4s, PDFs, JPEGs, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint documents.
Wow! So that's like anything that can be used as incriminating evidence against you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's what they tell you. People go, "Oh, I deleted all that." No, you didn't.
No, not unless you reformatted your hard drive. You did not delete all that.
Believe it or not, even then, it's still there. It's still there.
Can be. Yeah.
It's hidden. That when you've done that. Now and the only reason I know this is because I literally had a technician, one of my video editors, put a new hard drive into one of our Macs, right? And we were getting ready for a big, massive project. And he, again, like me, if every now and then if you don't click on the right thing and have the right thing highlighted when you say reformat, he reformatted one of our, in our computers, we have the hierarchy is you have the C drive is what everybody usually calls it. Then we have two more hard drives that are, as one is the asset file, and then the working folders. So that way we're never running low on memory. And he actually reformatted one of the asset files and went through the full reformat, and then looked up and went, where'd all my files go? And he looked over and went, oh crap! I literally, I got a phone call going, hey John, you got to get back to the studio. Charlie is literally in a ball under the desk, rolling, uncontrollably sobbing. I'm like, did his girlfriend break up with him, or is it something like
no,
did he get bad
worse
news?
than that, his hard drive broke up with him.
His mom and dad, mom die, or I mean, because this kid was a pretty stable kid. He goes, no one know. He locked the door, so I had the keys. So I got there and unlocked the door, walked in, and I went, Charlie, what's wrong? He goes, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe. I said, well, what did you do? He goes, well, I reformatted the hard drive. I said, well, weren't you supposed to reformat the new hard? He goes, well, it wasn't the new one. It was the asset player. I'm like, oh, crap.
Right.
So forensically, we sent it to a place, and they literally cleaned it out. I mean, they got everything back. Now, the problem with getting everything back is everything is labeled 1,
exactly.
2,
It's all
3.
file names
so you
rather
have
than where
to
you
go
named
and
it.
literally rename. Now, luckily, and then that one we did not have a backup for, so because it was 7.
But how does this work compared to paying somebody thousands of dollars?
Well, it looks
which is
to
what
me,
you did.
Yeah.
To get that done.
Okay, so the micro recovery tool is default mode is designed primarily for NTFS, which actually I don't know anybody that uses FAT32 anymore, or EXFAT, RES file systems. I don't know. I mean, so all I know is for most people that we deal with, everything that comes in here, we format to NTFS. And it will recover files, encrypted disk, or even after you formatted a disk. See, there it is. A second signature mode will likely be more popular option, allowing users to remove specific files across FAT, EXFAT, RFS files. The signature mode may also take longer to retrieve files. I guess it's just going to be an app that allows you to go in there and look at the file history feature. And to me, you can't.
So much better than it's gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And it looks like to me you're going to have to know a little bit of coding, because you have to go into the so-called command prompt side and do it. So. Way to go. I mean, okay, so I'll give Windows kudos on that bad boy, because that is pretty dang cool.
It's one of the things where you look at it and you go, how come this wasn't part of the program?
Right, exactly.
Why wasn't this just a natural thing? Like, you know what? People are going to screw up and delete the wrong thing. Let's go ahead and make sure that can't happen.
Yeah, that's
that they can undo it.
So we're
well, there we go.
Way to go, Windows. You actually did something good, really good. Because right now, 10's not. Never mind. I'm not going to bash Microsoft, because they're better than they've have been in a long time. So
they're
way more
definitely
stable.
trying hard.
Yep. So here's an interesting story I came across. It goes, the story is about how Telegram evaded its Russian ban. Now, in Russia, this guy that did this, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit further. The guy that made this, Pavel Durov, was the founder of Telegram. Well, in Russia, it got banned. You couldn't use it because this way,
it was untraceable.
Right. And so he found a way to go around the Russian government and use American cloud services like Amazon, Google, and all that kind of stuff, and has been able to keep it running for the last 2 years.
And
those are scary people. You know? So it was, it was amazing how they undermined the government officials who continued. And actually, that's kind of funny. By government officials were using it as well. So here you have Russia going, no, you can't use this, and blah blah blah, and then you had to turn around and go, but
that means you too.
We're using it over here in this sector because because
it works.
Exactly. So I mean that's pretty badass actually. That's the way that
that's well played. And well played on their part.
Yeah, and that's just a great way of getting information out when the Russia government. Because I read the other day that Russia was given the Taliban. I'm not this is a political show, but
a bounty
on Americans to get killing Americans. I'm like, holy crap! So,
and I'm not sure how legitimate that is. It's out there. So, but yeah, they haven't been really good friends, and I've known it for a very long time. Of course, I'm Russian, by ancestry, but I just keep shaking my head whenever I think back to the 2012, presidential debates.
Right.
And Mitt Romney coming out and saying this is a clear and present danger. This is an imminent threat. And Obama's response was, hey, the 80s called and they want their foreign policy back.
Right. Yeah.
And, it was a funny response, but it really allowed, Russia to do a whole bunch of things because we weren't taking them seriously. And because, of course, we could be more flexible after the election.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's anytime you can get around somebody, that's got that kind of a grip, I'm all for it.
Right.
And the fact that, your own people in your own government are using the banned software, really should be kind of an insight.
Right.
But of course it's not the first time you get, that kind of an economic system where there's two sets of rules.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah.
So, hey, do you ever heard of GitHub?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Developers use it for,
Right. So this
platform for testing software.
Right. GitHub is a large code repository that become very popular with developers and companies hosting entire projects and codes on the service. It's kind of, I guess it kind of acts like a blockchain.
Yeah.
Right. For developers. So they went down for a couple hours.
Yep.
Which had people scrambling like, what the hell, man? Because you start messing with these, all of a sudden people's software doesn't work. They've
got launch dates, launch windows they're trying to hit, and this is where this is their cloud for where they're practicing everything and making sure their betas work. And when all that just vanishes one day, and even though it was only for a couple hours, probably had people really realizing, gee, maybe we don't need to be quite so centralized on this.
Right. You have big companies like Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and other big tech companies that use there's 100 million more than 100 million repositories hosted on GitHub, and 40 million developers contribute to them. So if you had stuff if you had stuff not working, there's why.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft just bought and paid for it. It was $7.5 billion.
Yep.
But they paid for it because it just funnels all the information and everything right through them again.
You would have figured we'd learned our lesson by getting all our stuff from China and all the coronavirus crap, shutting that all down. This
happened before. So now we can look at it and go, knowing what we know now, is there a second service we can use as a backup?
Right.
And, what can we do there? So, I see that as, this is a golden opportunity for Apple or Amazon, to come in and say, hey, we got an idea. And honestly, it would be phenomenal for Facebook to do it.
Right.
Okay. Because they're already getting slammed left and right, and we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, we got a couple of Facebook stories that are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of interesting, now when you sent this, I'm like, I'm not quite sure I agree with some of this stuff, but I understand it. So let's talk about that. No, wait a minute. I hope Rob got those 3 images for you. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's get started on this.
All right. Well, hold on. Yeah, let me talk first.
Yeah.
Because what we're doing is, we're dealing with a lot of clients. We're dealing with a lot of businesses, a lot of professionals who are coming to us saying, hey, I want a website. Hey, I want to market my business. Hey, I want to do this. And there's been it seems like we're having to go back to the drawing board almost with every single one of them in order to get their message clear. And the problem is the business owners themselves aren't actually clear on their message. We had one guy last week who was in telling me, oh, this is who we are. We are, a general store for this industry. That's what we are. That's what we are. And I'm listening though, and I'm looking at what they have for product and how they handle their clients. And I'm like, and then he's like, yeah, but we don't want to do this and we don't want to do that. And we don't want to carry this and we don't want to be responsible for that. And I had this whole long list of stuff that he didn't want to do. Well, what is a general store? A general store is a place where you go in to get everything you need. And we really had to push back, and we spent hours just reiterating, going back over his messaging. And what I did was I developed this, 3-step process for narrowing this down. And I want to go ahead and share that today with business owners, because if you don't have the answers to these questions, which lead all into one really big question,
right,
or one really big answer,
right,
then it's going to be almost impossible to market your business on social media or anywhere where you're dealing with the public. Because, or hell, it could be B2B, it doesn't matter. Anytime you can't enunciate what it is that you are and you do, you are not going to be able to be clear in that prospective customer's mind. So what we're doing is we are isolating the purpose of your business.
Right.
Now, one of the things that's out there, there's a great article, and I guess we'll put a link up to it. But it's got 5 crucial steps, and we all hear about vision statements and mission statements and all these things. Well, before you even get to any of that stuff, and so much of that stuff is such god awful claptrap when you read it. I mean, somebody will give it to you, and it's like, this was written by your HR department, wasn't it? This wasn't written by your C-staff. This wasn't written by your founder. Okay, this is all in here. We want to provide an equal opportunity workspace for people who are interested in having an equal opportunity workspace and wish to work in a place where they are happy and fulfilled in an equal opportunity workspace. That's our purpose. No, that's not your purpose. That's not even a mission. Okay, that's nothing. That is fill in the blanks so that you can point to it if you ever get sued.
Yep.
And that is not going to help you. There's actually a reason to have a purpose for your business. And I know it sounds almost like, well, who doesn't have a purpose for their business? I mean, it's to make money, right? Wrong. Making money is not your purpose. Okay? If you think that's your purpose, you're in trouble. Okay? Because making money does not come with a guarantee of ethics. It does not come with a guarantee of morals. It does not come with any kind of being able to partner and become a community member with your audience. And so you need to be able to do those things if you expect to build an audience base and have them come back. So what we have is we've got 3 questions that we go through. The first one is a 2-part question. The second question just helps you clarify it. But first question is, what is your reason for existing? I know that's something, well, to pay my bills, well, to, keep my employees employed. No, none of those things, okay? We're talking about the very essence of your business.
Right.
And knowing what your reason is for existing, and as a corollary to that, whose needs are you here to meet? Because it should not be your employees. It should not be, it's your customers. Who are they? What are their needs? And then you can back it up and go, so my reason for existing is to fulfill these needs for my clients, for my customers, for my patients, for whatever it is that's walking in the door. And let's take the lawyer as a classic example. Okay, you can say, oh, I'm here to make money by practicing law. No, it's like your reason for existing is to help people who have been injured in automobile accidents get the claims money they deserve so they can put their life back together. Okay? That is your reason for existing. That's what you're there for. You're going to deal with these clients, you're going to deal with these injured people, and you're there to meet their needs. Now, here's the next one is, what value are you giving your customers? Focus on value. And I almost want to say unique value. But that more comes out in the third one. Well, what value are you bringing to the table? So we'll stick with the attorney example. and we'll say, okay, well, I happen to have 20 years of practice working in these kinds of claims. I have worked against the big companies. I am willing to take this to the mat and go to trial. And so this is something, that is, because there are attorneys out there who won't. They're only interested in settling. That's all they want to do. And they are settle mills. And they make, they're happy making $5,000 on a case just because they can crank it out, get the settlement, and move on to the next cheap client. Meanwhile, the same claim could be put in the hands of somebody who specializes in this and who brings this value to the table. And now suddenly, not that patient, instead of getting $15,000 settlement, of which they get $5,000 for the attorney, they're actually going to get a $2 million settlement. Now the attorney gets $700,000, so he's kind of happy at that point. She's really done a great job. This is in her value scheme. This is the value she brings, and it may be money like that, but it has to do with what do you bring to the table. And then we go to the third question, which is, why is your firm uniquely capable of providing this value? What is it that makes you stand out? Now, with attorneys, okay, there are things that we've seen lately that have really done that. Have you seen that Divorce for Men?
Yeah.
I love that billboard.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's like, wow, there's somebody really zeroing in on a target market. You're saying, okay, I'm not just any divorce attorney.
Right.
Okay, I'm somebody who absolutely understands and can relate to the problems men have when they are going through a divorce, because it's not the same as what a woman goes through. Okay, right. Because it's practiced differently. There are biases built into the system, and you've got to know how to overcome them. And a lot of attorneys, a lot of old divorce attorneys, they hear this stuff and they're like, yeah, but it's still the same. You're not going to get the kids. Sorry, man. Sorry, sir.
Right.
Okay. And it's like, no, that's actually not the case anymore. And visitation, you're just going to get, a weekend, and that's going to be it. And you'll get every other weekend. Have a nice day. Right. You'll get this old news, but if you get somebody who specializes, then we take these things, and when we put them together, now we can really, really nail what is the purpose of your business. And right. It'll go from, well, gee, we're here to make money, back around to, no, I am here to help men who are getting a divorce and who feel like the system is against them realize that there are laws there to protect them and to work with those laws in the most effective way possible to get them everything they deserve after their years of marriage. What a statement that makes. Okay, that is now your purpose. Everything you do in your business, you can now align around that center hub. You got a client come in, oh my God, I got this big deal. I want to do this contract deal. You're like, sorry, it's outside my wheelhouse. I don't care. Okay, because this is what I do. Well, my sister needs a divorce attorney. You were really good for me. Sorry, I'm not going to do it. Okay, it's not my specialty. She would not be served here very well. I can suggest she go to this attorney, and that would be great. Okay, this is somebody who's really giving me a lot of trouble in court. So go to this attorney. But having that focus allows you to then trim away a lot of the dead weight of your client base, because 20% of your clients probably represent 80% of your income. So this helps you siphon off the ones that take up a ton of your time,
right, but
don't make up a ton of your money. And so, having that in there. And now when we come to building your website, and we just did this with someone who's a real estate agent, we worked it around and realized that, her focus was not to be, I'm a real estate agent in Florida, and I do all, and I represent people in Florida who want to get a house in Florida. And, that was it. It's like, no, really. What you're doing is, your purpose is to help people coming from out of state, specifically from the Midwest, who want to get a house in Florida and have no idea what the differences are in the laws and the rules and the changes and the contracts and all these things. And you specialize in helping people coming from those areas, okay, find their dream tropical home in Florida. Now she knows where to advertise. She can pick her zip codes on Facebook. And she can go in there and she can nail her target market dead to rights and talk specifically to them. And they know that she's talking to them because she has the questions now on her website that they were asking themselves. Here's somebody who understands what I'm asking. Here's somebody who knows what I'm thinking. And so we build the whole marketing communication around that. Your email newsletters now have pure focus on what's going to be in them. All your blog content is all focused around this purpose. All of your advertising is focused around this purpose. And so having this down allows us to actually do something really, really constructive with your marketing campaign and make it a million times more effective.
Right.
Because we're not just throwing crap out to the wind and seeing what sticks.
Yep.
So, yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to deal with today, because we've been dealing with it in setting up websites.
Yeah.
And, helping people with their internet marketing and social media marketing. And so that's, you got to have that done first, though, before you can do any of that other stuff.
Yeah, so to just starting a business going, well, I'm doing this because I need to eat is not the way to, is not the reason to start
it may be why you're starting it. That's fine, but you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to grow. You're not going to build a loyal client base with that mentality. Okay, you have to say, okay, this is what I am going to do for people.
Right.
And that is my purpose, is to do this for people.
So you're telling
then two things happen. Yeah, go ahead.
You're telling me Tugwell had it right, is see a need, fill a need.
Tugwell had it right.
Tugwell. Mr. Tugwell. Robots, the movie. The animated movie.
Yeah.
Mr. Tugwell, you see a need, you fill a need.
Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. There's got to be a purpose behind not just because you want to eat and you don't want to work for the man, but there should be a need.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people in our industry, okay, of the video media, who go out there and they just want to shoot anything,
right?
And they do anything for a buck,
right?
And that's great, But then we look at what you have done with helping businesses grow. And that's really what We Beam TV does.
Right.
It helps businesses grow.
Well, we saw the need that for some reason, somehow, silently in the night, we lost our local television station. And I mean, what I mean is there used to be, you could go and there was a public television, and I'm not talking about WPBS or anything like that. I'm talking about public television. Public access, yeah, right. Thanks, Rob. Yeah. We used to have that where you paid your $200, you went in and they taught you how to use all the equipment correctly and how to produce a show and the whole 9 yards. And then guess what? It just silently disappeared.
Yeah.
And then I think what happened is they said, well, YouTube is going to kill us, so we're just really not going to put money into this, and it didn't kill us. Matter of fact, it made it better. Well, one of the problems I think that public access had is what a lot of people didn't realize is when you did a show on public access, you were given that access channel rights to your show. Yeah.
I think the FCC also dropped their regulation on that. Okay, that in order to be then every station that's broadcasting would have to have that slot available.
Yep.
Okay, for public access programming.
Well, here's the funny thing. FiOS does. Bright House does. I mean, Spectrum. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Same thing.
They, the actual news channel like ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox 13, they don't have to do that. But as a cable channel carriers, yes, they do. And they still have it. Just no one wants to do it or run it. So
because then FiOS owns it.
Right. So I said, okay, I'll just start. I was one of those guys out there shooting for whatever. I didn't care. I did everything but porn. So if you wanted a commercial, we did it for you. You want a documentary, we did it for you. You want a TV show to put somewhere, we'll do it for you.
Right.
And it just.
But look at the difference that you have.
Yeah.
Now that you've decided this is your niche.
Right.
Or niche, as we used to say in my day.
Yep.
This is what matters to you, is helping these businesses grow.
Get their voice
what
back.
A difference it makes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's that.
That's that.
What's next on the fun list?
Hey, let's jump up to so Twitter is trying to be responsible. They're going to promise to fine-tune its 5G coronavirus labeling after unrelated tweets were flagged. So here's what I think. The more I read the story, I'm like, okay, I get it. So what they're doing is like, if you're saying if 5G is the one that's making the coronavirus spread, so 5G is dangerous, and that's just been just such a hoax tweet. It's not true. Now 5G in a big dosage. If we get into that, I'm not a political show, and I'm not going to go down this path. But 5G can be dangerous to the human if it's in massive doses. But the problem with 5G is it's not. It's going to be multiple little. So I want to see the studies on it, because there's some people that actually work for the towers.
Dihydrous monoxide is also dangerous in large doses.
Right.
Okay?
And those guys say 5G can kill you. But they're also talking about the amount that comes off those towers. So I'm not sure how
you're
it's going to
talking
be.
about microwave radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's
you can
because
cook
it's not a. It's you got to look at the waveform, and we'll actually, you know what? I think we're going to jump in on Twisted Views on that one anyway. So, but anyway, we'll move on. But they're going to start. They're trying to be more truthful in the fact check. Blah blah blah. So I think before you show these, hold on a second. Don't show these yet, Rob. I'm double checking because. Okay, so Coca-Cola is joins Facebook boycott with a pause on social media advertising and starting July 1st.
Yep.
So there's a whole bunch of people to they're going to pull all their advertising. Now some people, there's one company we're going to talk about that's doing it till the end of the year.
Yep.
And it's the move is part of a broader boycott of Facebook and Instagram organized by Anti-Defamation League, the NAACP, and other organizations called the Stop Hate for Profit campaign. So I guess everybody's going to get behind this, and their statement says we will let them know we expect greater accountability, action from and transparency from them. So I guess they feel that Facebook and Twitter is really pushing the advertising.
Well, Facebook in particular.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's real. Well, Twitter
is
Twitter is named in here, so.
Yeah. Well, but Facebook in particular. Okay, Zuck has been out there saying no, we aren't going to moderate political speech. That's not our place, and that's what that's what they're punishing him for not moderating political speech. Okay,
Right.
And whatever your position may be on that, this actually creates an incredible opportunity for small businesses
Yeah.
because it's supply and demand. And if you're bidding for an audience and you're going up against Coca-Cola or Unilever or whomever, okay, and suddenly they aren't there anymore bidding against you,
Right.
your price for your impressions, for your clicks are going to drop through the floor. You can now reach a much larger audience for the same dollars that you were spending before. And that is the advantage you can get from this.
Right.
And, that is, of course, assuming that you do not agree with, Coca-Cola and Unilever and the ACLU that Facebook needs to be punished.
Right.
Okay. For allowing what is questionable free speech. Let's call it that. Okay. Because the word hate gets thrown around way too easily, too often, and applied to things that it doesn't belong.
That's where I was getting ready to go. Because so the word hate is the word racist and hate gets used too broadly, in my personal opinion. This is not hate. This is just, it's who can buy more to do with, right? Because I mean, you've got let's see, if I'm correct, you've got Unilever, you've got Hershey's, Coca-Cola. Let me jump back up here real quick.
It's a massive list.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And
well,
now
I mean, and so far, I think it's cost Zuck about $60 billion.
Yeah, Unilever is actually saying that they're going to go. I'm going to jump over. They're going to pull their ads from Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the rest of the year.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if this is really going to. Well, first of all, it won't kill them. It won't hurt Coca-Cola.
Who's them? No.
Coca-Cola, Unilever, Hershey's, all those. Ben
No,
and Jerry's,
they'll just put advertising elsewhere. Okay,
Patagonia.
They'll put it out on YouTube. They'll put it into Google Ads.
Right.
Okay,
No,
because
they'll put it in TV.
those two platforms, and they'll put it in TV. But I mean, if they're going to stay digital, they're going to stay online.
Right.
They're going to go with Google, who's already said yes, we're happy to censor people for you.
Right.
Okay, and that's where they'll put their money.
Right. So it just goes back to the whole. Whoever's got the biggest pockets is going to win in the advertising game. That's from day one. So before the world of the internet, period. Just say the internet. They all dominated the news outlets, the TV stations, the newspaper ads, and I'll tell you what opened up the world for the small and medium business people was cable.
Cable,
Not
exactly.
Not broadcast, but cable, because a lot of there's a difference. Broadcast are people like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC. Those are true networks, and those networks, to be a true network, you have to put out an air signal. ION is a small. Well, they're not small anymore, but they were based out of Clearwater. They were a true, honest to God network. Used to be small guys could take their money and go to ION and get on broadcast, because the problem you have with cable advertising is the fact that you have to choose what system you want to be on, whether it be on Spectrum, whether it be on Verizon, whether it be on Dish or Direct, because if you say you're a construction company that does upgrades, right? You do reconstruction stuff. Well,
remodeling.
So if you go on HGTV, they're going to say, well, who are you going to be on? You want to be on Spectrum, or you want to be on Verizon or DirecTV or Dish? Because if you're on Spectrum HGTV, you will not be on Verizon HGTV or DirecTV HGTV or DirecTV. You're only going to be in the household that has a Spectrum box or a Verizon or a Frontier box, right? So that's how that works. Yeah, it
sounds so. No, if I go to HGTV,
nope.
Okay,
you can't go to HGTV. You don't have. Let me tell you something.
Hold on. No. If I have the budget to go to HGTV, if I'm Home Depot,
well, that's different.
Okay, and I go to HGTV, I get them all.
Okay, first of all,
I know.
Yeah.
But if you're local,
you're local.
You can get your cable ads. They used to be able to get them like almost down to the zip code.
Yeah.
Of where they would run, and your ad would run in those zones, and you could run on standby for $5.
But only on
for a 30-second ad.
But only on
of course,
the Spectrum. If you're
only on the Spectrum, you talk
right.
But what you did, because your ads were only like between $5 and $50 a piece. Okay, I gave $2,000 to Spectrum. I gave $2,000 to FiOS. Okay, now my $4,000 budget, and then I'm picking and I'm saturating my areas.
Right. You
heavily now. I'm getting all the households.
Right.
Yeah, you can pick your zones, and that's where you can get really costed. I used to do it a lot.
I know. But those days,
it was phenomenal. But those days are gone.
Those are gone. You'll never get another spot for $50 ever.
No.
The average cost, even on Spectrum in Prime, which means it's from 8 a.m. in the morning until midnight.
Yep.
That Prime is going to run you, one spot will probably run you about $250 to $500, depending on.
Which used to be network prices. Those were the network prices.
Yeah, they used to be, yeah.
I mean, now the only thing on the networks that really jumped up above that you could actually get on the 6 o'clock news. You could get into the bumper before, the 8 o'clock program, whatever it was, Survivor, whatever it was you wanted to be on, you could get in there.
Right.
Okay. It was expensive, but you could get into those bumpers.
Yeah. I was
but
watching.
You could get on during the day for, $200-300 a spot.
Yeah. But nobody's watching during the day. That's,
everybody
maybe your
wants, target demo was.
Yeah, well.
Okay, there's a reason they were called soap operas.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, because they sold a lot of soap during those things.
Yeah, I was watching this morning Fox 13, and Acre Air in 2 hours was probably on about 12 times. And I'm like, oh, you're blowing that budget in one day, more or less.
Or they're on standby. Okay, in those as well, and they're using them as filler.
There's no standby on Fox 13. I'm just telling you. I know the people over there that sell it. There's no standby. That stuff's booked out months and months in advance. So, matter of fact,
the demographics are solid.
Yeah,
and you know who you're getting.
Exactly,
and you're obviously getting your return. Acre's getting their return, or they wouldn't stay there.
So but that's the whole. I just didn't want to. But that we went down a different path on this show. But
hello, rabbit hole.
Yeah, but it's so now the world of internet. I mean, I tell clients, unless you've got a $2,000 to $5,000 a week budget, which means you're looking at $10,000 to $20,000 a month. You're better off making a great commercial and putting your money into social media.
Exactly.
You're just
very much so.
You're going to get a bigger bang for your buck. So
we have taken businesses on budgets as stupidly low as $1 a day to get them started.
Yep.
And they've gotten enough return from it that they were able to increase it $2, $3, $5, $10 a day, $20 a day. And you can't do that. I mean, you're not going to get those impressions on any other platform like you can there. And, and when was the last time you could share a commercial that you saw on TV?
Right. No, exactly. Like, hey, you need, I do that all the time saying, this is a great company. You go watch this, and then I'll watch them. But, I know we've gotten away from, we didn't even talk about our sponsor today. Oh my gosh, Lord. Larry will have a conniption fit. So today is show. I don't know if Rob can bring it to you fast enough, but we'll just real quick. Call7.com. He's on it.
Of course.
I don't even have my script in front of me, but look, if you're looking for a good phone service and you're looking for good guys to take care of you, this is the guy you need to call. Call7.com. The phone number's on there. Just give him a call. Ask for Larry. You can even talk to Dylan if you want to. These guys will take very good care of you. I've had Larry's and handling my phones now for 4 years, and I've never been down. Now I'm small, so don't take my but they do handle, and they actually handle their own system. So if you need to have a doctor's visit and stuff like that, you need to have that kind of security where you're HIPAA compliant. These are the guys for you. Call7.com. Call7.com. Ask for Larry. But anyway, so I don't know. So I saw this. Okay, I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to skip the non-medical. And here's a good one though. Google's phone app could soon tell you why a business is calling you. So
I don't think I want Google knowing that.
Well, I think as a part of the new pilot, they're running this in Brazil. I think what happens is, and now I know a lot of people that use the Google phone number for business, and it's like you got to say your name, and then Google says, well, and we'll go try to find this person. Well, this person's there, right? So, but what you have to do, I think this one's like, okay, this is a reason. My name is John, and I'm calling you for this reason. And then what happens is Google says, hey, this is who's calling. This is why they're calling. It gives you the ability to say, put them to voicemail. Well, that's the way I see it.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, and what it's probably doing is going to use the same, algorithms that I have in this thing that, take my voicemail and immediately transcribe it.
Right.
So I'll probably just see a message on my watch, or on my phone that tells me what they're calling about. because it's actually quoting their text.
Right.
But again, it's, my thought is privacy, and anybody calling for whatever reason is now telling Google, exactly how to advertise to you, because this is the kind of people that call you.
Well, yeah, but it says it's also deleting it like within minutes. It's deleting the.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I know what it says, but
Well, of course, it only takes minutes. It only takes seconds
Right.
for it to categorize you and drop you into a black box like Facebook does.
Right.
As soon as you look at something.
Oh.
Okay. And that's it.
You ready for
They
this?
just black box drop you in. You're done.
So Dylan and I, because I'm old and I've got horrible back problems and I've got acid reflux horribly, we went ahead and we bit the big one and we went and got a Sleep Number bed, right? That raises you up and down, whole 9 yards.
Yep.
So the other night we were sitting there talking, around the kitchen table, and our phones were sitting there, and I'm like, we got to go look for a king size frame to go around the bed, so it's kind of nice and blah blah blah, or find someone that can do a custom headboard for us. And not even typing it in, not even next thing you know, I went to look at Facebook, and there is all this bedding information. And contractors or fine cabinetry work. How about that?
So
If Facebook
and
is
so
always
Google
listening
can be
to-
trusted not to do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Facebook is always
Because
listening
they're
to you,
actually
and Google's
transcribing your damn phone calls now.
No, this
Okay,
wasn't even a
which-
phone call. We were sitting
I
on
know
the
that.
table.
But I'm talking about
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
Okay. And the point here is they're actually going to be, with your permission, transcribing your phone calls.
Right.
Okay. So that there's going to be no doubt why people are calling you, what you might be interested in, and how they might be out. A contractor's calling to give him the quote on his bathroom, remodeling job. And, suddenly, wham, look at your Google feed.
Right.
Okay. Look at any search is going to be plastered with bathroom contractors, just like that. And, there's the whole argument, look, it makes life so easy because, it focuses all the average. We don't have to sift through it. I'll sift through it myself. Thank you very much.
Right.
I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
It's one of those things where, I don't, first of all, I don't use it, so I really don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you, Anthony, when you're out in public and you're wearing your mask and you walk up to somebody else and they're not wearing a mask, how do you handle that?
Well, I'll give you two answers to that because something happened to me yesterday at the pharmacy. Okay. But what I do is I turn my back to the person. I try to keep as far from them as I can. Okay. And I move away. I'm not a confrontational person by nature. But what I won't do is, now, if that person is standing there hacking and coughing and there's people around them and there's children walking by, then I'm probably going to step in, okay, to make some kind of statement, request, whatever. Look, can you just but the easy thing is right now in our county, thank God, finally, you can't go into a business without a mask on. So there's no doubt. All I have to do is walk over to the manager and say, hey, can you call the police? Okay, otherwise you're facing a $250 fine. Okay, for having this person in here without a mask.
Some
and management will get right on them.
Some counties are actually the person's going to get the fine as well.
Yes, which is fine. But no, what happened to me yesterday was I was standing in line at the pharmacy. Guy walks in, and he's got his mask on, and he's standing, 8-10 feet behind me because that's where the next spot is because I'm already up the counter. And I'm standing there, and he just walks in, and he walks up, and we make eye contact just because he's walking towards, the counter, whatever. I didn't even think about it. We just make eye contact. I look back, and then he just, in a very loud voice in the front of Publix, okay, just says, "This is bull crap."
Yep.
Then I just looked at him, and I said, "What?" I said, "Excuse me?" And he goes, "This is mask stuff. This is all just shit." And I'm like, actually, no, it's probably the best thing we've had happen because now none of my friends are at risk from other people. And he said into me, and I mean, they were calling security. He was going to attack me because I was not willing to support his argument that we shouldn't have to wear masks.
Right.
He was going to physically attack me. Okay, because I mean, I just turned my back on him, focused here. I got him in the corner of my eye.
Right.
Okay, but I mean, literally, I was being attacked for wearing a mask,
Right.
for not complaining about wearing a mask,
Yep.
for not being miserable that I had to wear a mask.
Right.
And that was just mind-boggling for me. And you know, I've made a few resolutions now regarding, you know, how I will, you know, behave and act and what I'll have with me when I go out in public now.
Right.
Because I'm just not gonna deal with somebody getting physical with me, because I'm trying to save their lives. Give me a break, you know. So that's what happened. But you have an article there that says something else.
Yeah, well, so how do you deal with people who refuse to wear a mask? It's got to be courteous to them. You don't start.
Yep.
You don't get confrontational with them. You don't shame them.
Nope.
You just
Don't
kind of
shame.
here's and actually, if you read the whole thing, it's really there's really no answer other than disagree with them and move on.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to agree with them. Just absolutely, you're right, man.
That's what it is. I turn my back.
Good for
I keep
you.
them behind me.
Good for you. Stand
you
up for
know.
yourself, and then you just move on. You know, because you know you get all these people that want to be holier than thou, and that's where it's been going. Everybody wants to shame and you're just an idiot. If I hear the word ignorant one more time from people that are ignorant, that's typically people don't know how to use that word properly, and everybody's calling everybody ignorant. Everybody needs to shut the hell up. And just man, that's a great opinion you have, and then just move on, instead of sit there and try to argue with them. And you know, so see what you did, and I'm not saying you were wrong, but what you did is you pulled a confrontational move by telling him, just let me finish. You know, you were trying
No.
you were pointing out, you were pointing out why, and see, once that mindset is this is BS. And I don't want, and I shouldn't be told, and I'm not, and you know that mentality. You won't change that mentality. So you just got to go,
entrenched.
man. You know what? You that's a great opinion you have. You know, unfortunately, you know now it's a fight. See, we did it yesterday. Someone said it, and I agree. I personally think if we need a herd immunity to get this gone. And I know people don't like, but that's just my opinion. But I'm not going to sit there and argue with some guy about it. I'm just going to say, man, that's a great opinion. You know, unfortunately, right now, I just don't have $500 fine to pay, and I don't want the place to get fined either. So I'm just I'll comply with it until it's over, and then we just move on. And then it was amazing that it kind of went away, because you're not saying you agree, and you're not saying you disagree. It's like, man, that's a great opinion you've got there. You know, you stick to your guns and then just move on. You don't have to be. You know, you don't have to be that. You know, I was confrontational. I wouldn't go to hit nobody by guiding them, but I'm just saying this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, because I understand the science of going to a restaurant, sitting down at a table, then taking the mask off when everybody else has got. Okay, well that's dumb, because the human spit and the human breath will carry almost 12 to 15 feet with a two inch fall for every foot. So I can be sitting here all I want, but if the table's 6 feet away from me, what they're talking about, what I'm talking about, if I'm laughing and they're laughing, unless we're all going to talk in silent voices, it's going to spread. So I don't.
Yeah, and nose breathe only.
Yeah, so that doesn't work.
But that's why the bars and everything have been such hot spots, because people are too close together. They're leaning over each other to get a drink. They're doing whatever it is, and now you're seeing 85 people being infected from one bar.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't.
You know,
I don't believe that.
like,
I don't believe it's the bars. I think there's a way more to it than that. I personally think the riots and the protest had something to do with it. But they're not gonna say that, because then you're gonna have riots all over again. So I personally think there's way more than the government's letting on. But we're running out of time, and I wanted to jump on this one right here.
What's that?
Oh, wait a minute. Where'd it go? Okay, I want to end on a really good note, because we only have 2 minutes left. NASA names headquarters after Mary Jackson, the agency's first black female engineer. Now,
Awesome
if
sauce.
anybody knows who this person is, this is the whole Hidden Figures movie. This lady was I mean, off the chain smart. So she'd come in a room and my IQ would be 1. Just saying. This lady
Yeah.
was super
She knew what she was
smart.
doing.
Yes, she did.
Yep.
So they named the headquarters in Washington D.C. after her, which I think is one of the most absolutely phenomenal thing they could have ever done. Because she is one of those kind of people. If I could be a tenth as smart as she is, I'd be a happy dude. Because
And yeah, I mean, you look
Walking
at it and
computer.
you want to talk about, massive contribution
yes,
to the
major.
program. If you haven't seen the movie Hidden Figures, go see it.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a mashup of some characters, but
Yeah.
for the most part, they've got the central figures right.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
These
So
are
cool.
the people who put men in space.
And on the moon.
Okay,
And
it
on the
wouldn't
moon.
have and on the moon, and it would not have happened without them.
That's right.
They knew how to solve problems that all those male engineers were sitting around going, I don't know.
They were faster than the
Okay,
computers.
I got nothing. Yeah. They
yeah.
were, well, their job title was computer at the time.
That's right. Yeah, computer. They were
Okay,
a
that was
computer.
their job title.
So,
So they spent their lives surrounded by numbers.
yep.
And that's what they did, and they were brilliant with what they were able to pull off.
Yep.
And this is an honor that is long past. I'm glad the movie came out and that
Yep.
it raised public awareness of who these people were and what they contributed. And I think
These
it's
are
just
some
fantastic.
smart ladies. Just saying.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
all right. Well, we only got about 35 seconds left. We're glad you guys watched today. And again, if you need some phone service,
Thank
call
you.
Larry over at call 7. We know you have a lot
Yeah.
of stuff to watch. If you have a question for us, and thanks for the emails. Where I'm trying. Some of this stuff today came from emails from last week and
cool.
over the weekend. So that's why I pulled some of them
Yep.
up. TechShamans at WeVMTV.com. Email us. We'll be glad to talk to you guys. If you think if you think you're qualified to be a shaman, we'd love to have you on. Call us or text us. TechShamans at WeVMTV.com.
Yeah, good point.
Thanks for watching. We'll see everybody next week. We'll talk to you
Bye,
later.
everybody.
We got the plans cause we are the tech shamans. We understand cause we are the tech shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Cool.